Fracking is one of the few problems in the United States that isn't a commonly heard subject matter. It's a problem that can be impactful in the near future if nothing is done to prevent it. Fracking affects our environment and our health. Fracking laces our water with known cancer-causing chemicals, emits global warming pollution, and turns our open space into industrial zones. Fracking takes place in at least 25 states, Texas, Colorado, Pennsylvania, and North Dakota being the main four. Fracking also takes place in California, where a historic drought is currently taking place. But the first question is, what is fracking?
So can you start with just explaining to us what exactly is fracking? How does it work?
Yeah. Fracking is a pretty old technique. A lot of people think it's relatively new. It's been going on for decades, but we've been doing more of it in recent years. Basically, it's digging, energy companies dig a very deep well, usually under an aquifer. Then they pump water, chemicals, and a specialized sand, a very round sand, into the well to crack open these rock formations deep underground that contain natural gas and oil deposits. So instead of basically striking oil or gas and sticking a well and waiting for it to come out, it's trying to get at those harder to get deposits, and then it basically cracks this concrete-like rock. And that's basically what it is.
How is groundwater used in the fracking process?
In 2014, 70 million gallons of groundwater was used in the fracking process, and this is in the height of the California's drought.
Fracking could worsen the drought?
Yes, because if they continue to pump groundwater for use from fracking, that's less water that's going to be available for farmers, less water that's available for endangered species and our agriculture.
Has groundwater conditions worsened in areas with fracking?
I assume that it does, because at one point the Central Valley, when they were pumping groundwater out, actually sank. So if they continue to do that, the aquifers will continue to be depleted and the ground will continue to sink and less water will be available.
Can crops watered with fracking groundwater be a danger to our health?
I assume that it will be, considering that most of the groundwater that's been used for fracking has been mixed with chemicals, and those chemicals are no longer they'll be used for crops. They'll be in the crops, and then they'll be used for human consumption.
Do you agree or disagree with Governor Brown approving of fracking?
I disapprove of him allowing us to use fracking in California.
Even with that information, Governor Brown has practically turned a blind eye towards oil drilling companies, ignoring the issue of the drought. In 2015, Governor Brown continued to support big oil, including by rejecting a petition signed by more than 150 environmental groups calling for a moratorium on fracking across the state. Which begs the question, why work to solve the problem of climate change on one hand and then make it worse on the other? Currently, there is no strict regulation on fracking in the state of California, which makes the situation more severe. Fracking is being justified as a bridge between coal and a low-carbon future. But these companies fail to realize that natural gas is mostly methane, which impacts global warming greatly.
How much water do you think is used during this process?
So I know, it's used at the beginning, and again, I think the interesting thing about how much fresh water is used is they do require a lot of fresh water, and if you're talking about fresh water on this planet, right, 1% of all the water on the planet is usable to us as fresh water. It's the water that gets recycled through the water cycle. We use it for our personal needs, we use it for agriculture, and we use it for industry. So we're using a resource, right? And that resource becomes so polluted in the process that it's no longer available to us. So I think that aspect of pollution and the availability of fresh water kind of fight against each other, right? We don't have a lot of fresh water, and this process requires a lot of fresh water.